You don't actually get Hotori right away in Neverness To Everness, but you'll meet her pretty early in the story, long before she becomes a playable S-rank character in the Scarborough Fair banner, and honestly, that just builds up the hype even more. While you're waiting for that lucky pull, it's hard not to get curious about what she really brings to the table, especially with those strong Cosmos buffing abilities that can turn her ultimate into something absolutely explosive. Hotori isn't just another name on the roster either. She's the fearless leader of the Ebon Antique Shop, and you'll keep running into her as you progress through the game. So if you do manage to pull her from the limited banner, you're probably going to want to get everything right. The best arcs, the right consoles, and of course the most effective team comps to really unlock her full potential. That's exactly what we're breaking down today, so let's get into the best Hotori build and team in Neverness To Everness.
A very small portion of the audience is subscribed to the channel.
If you enjoy these types of list videos,
please don't forget to subscribe if you like these types of videos.
Enjoy watching.
Thanks.
Hotori is one of the newest additions to Neverness To Everness, arriving through the limited banner rotation between Nanali's debut banner and the Misty Tipsy style banner in the Scarborough Fair gacha system. As a Cosmos-type character, she immediately stands out as another strong support option for your roster, especially if you are looking to stabilize your team's overall damage output, while still keeping some flexibility for burst windows. When you place Hotori on the field, her main value comes from her buffing potential. She is designed around a solid arc-type playstyle, meaning she works best by amplifying your team's performance rather than acting as a pure main damage dealer. That said, she is not passive at all. Her kit still allows her to contribute meaningful burst damage, especially once her skills start scaling properly with investment. As you level her up, you will notice her buffs becoming more impactful, turning her into a core enabler for high damage team compositions. The real highlight of Hotori's kit comes from her redirect skill and her ultimate. These are where she does most of her damage contribution while also providing utility, especially with her time-stopping mechanic that lets her continue applying pressure while enemies are locked down. In the best Hotori builds and team setups, she shines as a hybrid support who boosts damage, controls tempo, and still sneaks in serious damage windows when it matters most, making her a very valuable pick for almost any Neverness To Everness team composition. Hotori's kit in Neverness To Everness is built around a very unique energy system called the non-closed timepiece. Every time she enters the field, this timepiece starts slowly filling up to a maximum of 120 energy. This mechanic is the backbone of her entire gameplay loop, meaning you are constantly balancing her basic actions and timing her skills so you can fully unlock her strongest moments. Her basic attack, Misty Moon style, is a simple but smooth 5-hit combo that deals Cosmos damage, but things get more interesting with her movement options. Rippling Waves lets her dash forward and hit multiple times in an area of effect, while Crescent adds a powerful plunge attack that scales up to 200% damage depending on full height. These give her a surprisingly mobile and flexible combat flow for a support-oriented character. The real setup begins with her skill, Present Replay. This skill consumes 60 non-closed timepiece energy and deals multiple instances of Cosmos damage in an area of effect, but the important part is the recording mechanic. Hotori stores support skills and redirect skills used by allies for a short window, essentially rewinding and replaying key moments in combat. This makes her extremely strong in coordinated team rotations where timing matters. Her ultimate, World's Tide, is where everything comes together. Once the non-closed timepiece is fully charged, she unleashes a powerful multi-hit Cosmos attack while drawing a katana from her umbrella. It then slows time to near standstill, locks character switching, and resets the battlefield tempo completely in your favor. During this state, she replays all recorded actions from Present Replay, stacking combo hits with her katana attacks and ramping up damage significantly. On top of that, World's Tide also provides strong utility by cleansing time control debuffs and granting immunity to them during the time stop effect. As she builds combo stacks up to 10 hits, her damage increases per strike, ending with a powerful finisher that can spike extremely high numbers when properly set up. This makes her not just a support but also a burst damage enabler who can shift entire fights. Finally, her support skill, Shopkeeper's Authority, gives her additional area damage through an umbrella throw, but the real depth comes from her support skill enhancements. Effects like Ghost Orchid, Crest improve interaction during time stop scenarios, while All Treasures Under Heaven dramatically increases her ultimate finisher damage. Overall, Hotori is designed as a rhythm-based support DPS hybrid who rewards precise timing and well-planned team rotations. Hotori's best arc setup in Neverness To Everness really leans into her timing-based kit, and the top goal choice here is clearly marching beyond time. This arc gives her a solid attack boost right away, but the real value comes from its waste lab mechanic. Every time Hotori uses a redirect skill, she helps generate waste time stacks for the team, and when she finally triggers her ultimate inside waste lab, those stacks are consumed to massively boost her ultimate critical damage. If you manage to reach 3 stacks before activating it, she also gains a short defense ignorance bonus, which makes her burst window feel even more explosive. For a more accessible option, the Forgotten is her best purple arc and still performs very consistently. It is much simpler compared to her gold option, but it offers a strong attack increase when her health points are above 50% and a defense increase when she drops below that threshold. This makes it a very stable and flexible choice, especially if you are still building her or do not have access to higher rarity arcs yet. When it comes to her console setup, Lost Radiance is her best in slot. The 2-piece effect increases Cosmos damage, which directly scales all of her core abilities, while the 4-piece bonus allows her to ignore a large portion of enemy defense for a long duration after casting her ultimate. This fits perfectly with her time stop burst playstyle. For modules, you want to focus on Cosmos damage boost, critical rate, and critical damage to maximize both her sustained value and her explosive ultimate windows. Hotori in Neverness. To Everness works best as a flexible support burst hybrid, so her teams are really built around how you want to trigger her redirect skill and ultimate windows. In most setups, she is not meant to stay on field permanently. Instead, you rotate her in, build up value through team skills, and then unleash her time stop burst to amplify everything your team has already set up. Because of that, her best teams are usually the ones that already have strong rhythm and skill cycling. The strongest overall setup is the Blossom team. In this composition, Esper Zero, Nanali, and Juyuan work together with Hotori to create consistent Cosmos and Anima damage interactions. Esper Zero provides stable core Cosmos output, Nanali adds strong supplemental damage and utility, and Juyuan rounds out the rotation with reliable support pressure. Hotori fits into this perfectly by amplifying their skill timing and turning their combined damage spikes into much bigger burst windows. For a more aggressive playstyle, the Discord or Break team is another top tier option. In this setup, Daffodil brings chaos damage and helps enable break-focused gameplay, while Aurelia acts as a central damage dealer who benefits heavily from enemy break states. Sakiri supports the team with incantation-based utility and team-wide enhancement. Hotori's role here is very important because her ultimate can be timed to hit right after enemies are broken, turning her time stop window into a massive finishing sequence. If you're looking for a more accessible or free-to-play friendly version, the Esper Zero, Mint, and Aurelia team is the best option. Esper Zero ensures steady Cosmos damage, Mint introduces Anima damage to help trigger Blossom interactions, and Aurelia provides a reliable damage backbone when rotations get messy. In this setup, Hotori still performs her core job extremely well, even without premium units, because her kit naturally scales with good timing rather than raw rarity. Overall, Hotori's team flexibility is one of her biggest strengths. Whether you are running premium Blossom compositions, break-focused Discord setups, or more budget-friendly combinations, she consistently enhances damage output by synchronizing skill timing and amplifying ultimate windows. The key is always the same: build a rotation that feeds into her present replay and World's Tide timing, and she will elevate the entire team's damage ceiling. Hotori's Awakening setup in Neverness To Everness is heavily focused on strengthening her time stop burst windows, which are the core of her entire damage identity. Since most of her power comes from World's Tide and the interactions inside that time stop state, every awakening that improves damage during that phase becomes extremely valuable. This also means her priorities are less about general stats and more about maximizing her explosive moments. The best overall awakening for her is Flourish. It directly scales her time stop damage by up to 12% per recorded support skill or redirect skill, which naturally synergizes with her present replay mechanic. Since Hotori is constantly recording ally actions before unleashing her ultimate, this awakening can ramp up to very high multipliers, making it her strongest scaling option when played correctly. Next up, All-Seeing is one of her most important situational awakenings, especially for boss fights. When there is only one enemy on the field, it increases the entire team's damage against that target by 15%. This turns Hotori into a powerful raid-style support, where her presence alone significantly improves single-target burst phases. It loses value in multi-enemy encounters, but in boss scenarios it is extremely efficient. Distant Memories is a more straightforward but still very solid choice, providing a flat 20% damage increase during time stop. It is not as complex as Flourish, but it consistently boosts her ultimate performance without requiring setup conditions. Right after that comes Time Takes Away, which allows Hotori to ignore 30% of enemy defense during time stop, further increasing her burst ceiling and making her damage feel much sharper against tougher targets. Scattered Relics is more situational and shines mainly in multi-enemy fights, where defeating targets while her timepiece is not rewinding helps her generate extra energy for faster rotations. However, since it does not carry over into every scenario, it sits lower in priority compared to her core, time-stop focused awakenings. Momentary Gaze rounds out her kit as a quality of life option, helping recover energy after present replay, but its cooldown and conditional nature make it the least important early pick. Finally, her resonance effects provide long-term scaling. At Free Awakening, Eternity Shattered increases the level of her core skills, directly improving all aspects of her kit. At 6 Awakening, the ultimate treasure of Clear Understanding grants a team-wide 10% attack boost as long as Hotori is alive, turning her into a full support cornerstone. Overall, her awakening path clearly reinforces her identity as a time-stop burst enabler who scales hardest when fully built around coordinated skill usage. The video ends here. See you in another video. Don't forget to subscribe.